repetition is everything. So when we are recreating that version of ourselves and we are specifically working on raising our vibration, it is the repetitive reminding of our own selves that we are responsible for what we feel, how we show up, and the way that we experience life. It's not that life is happening to us, it's what we are choosing in terms of our own perspective and our projection due to that perspective that creates our reality. So I'm going to run through a practical list of ways that we can raise our vibration. I'm not just talking about the experience, I want to talk about the how-tos, this list of things that we can do to integrate. Now, some of this is going to be repetition again, but it is constantly reminding ourselves what we need to do to feel and experience more deeply. So first and foremost, fall in love with being alive. Fall in love with every aspect of it, every season, every stage, the highs, the lows, the magic of the dance. You know, this is the adventure. Life is an absolute adventure. So fall in love with your own story, okay? Rediscover the small things, the sunrise, the birds, laughter, the taste of fresh fruit, you know, all of these different things. Gratitude, feeling grateful for everything, feeling grateful that you get to get up in the morning, feeling grateful for your family, feeling grateful for your friends, reconnections, the fact that you have a job, the fact that you can go and take a walk in the park, whatever it is. Just massive amounts of gratitude link you back into kind of rejoining the bliss of reality. Okay? Live creatively and courageously. So do what you love, do what brings life to you. Dance, paint, create, build, sing, you know, do the things that make you feel alive and live creatively. I was watching the documentary about Magic Johnson, the 4-part series on Apple TV over the last couple of evenings. And one thing that was really impressive to me is how much he was always creating. I mean, not was, still is always creating and creating from the heart. And this is something that I have done my entire life as well, is I'm always thinking up new exciting ways to integrate those around me into exciting spaces and exciting environments and events so that we have this collaborative sharing place. And it is directly related to business as well. So there's a lucrative element to it, but most of the energy that's coming forth is truly this love for creation, love for doing, love for expressing and making something manifest. So again, that comes from courage, because when we are courageously allowing what is naturally a part of us to flow forth, we're doing it without fear and we're living in this creative, courageous energy, okay? Staying present in the now, so important in terms of keeping our vibration high and keeping our connection to our visceral experience. So when we're living in our past, again, we're ruminating in things that we can't change, things that there's nothing we can do about the past. We can think about it, we can go over it, we can maybe utilize it in terms of giving us a vantage point of what we may or may not want to do in the now moment or what we want to create in the future. So there is some element of revisiting the past that might be useful, but you don't want to live in the past. And you also don't want to live too much in the future, because we don't know what the future is going to hold. Not that we don't plan, but when we are over planning and over worried about what's going to happen in the future, or if we are, taking ourselves back in time and focusing on what came before, we're not experiencing all of the beauty and magic in that creative flow state of now. So just immerse yourself in the now and really allow yourself to get lost in the magic of the now moment. Okay, surround yourself with beauty and depth. I love this piece of advice. I am a big advocate of just making all of your environments, your interactions, your spaces super beautiful. Because again, when you are surrounded by environments that you love, environments that make you come alive, you feel better, you know, and this, you have to take a certain amount of responsibility for this. So, you know, when you're designing your home, when you're designing your office space, you know, when you're choosing what career or, you know, what job you're actually going to align yourself with, you have to look at the whole aspect of it. You know, what is the environment that you are predominantly existing in most of the hours of your day. And even if it's the fact that you're in a cubicle right now, make that cubicle beautiful. Fill it with, you know, inspirational sayings, pictures of people you love. There's always ways to, you know, wherever you are, to make that environment beautiful. We were actually just down in our warehouse talking about how we want to put up a bunch of burlap curtains and like write inspirational sayings and like draw pictures, like all of the staff get together and like do graffiti all over the concrete floor and have these curtains over all of our warehousing shelving and like put some really cool funky leather couches and spray paint them and make this really dynamic, cool, funky, interactive space. And that's what I mean. Like a lot of times people will be like, why would you do something crazy like that? But again, it's having fun with life. It's like, what can I think of that would take this environment and make it dynamic, integrate the people that, you know, we love, have an experience with the people that we love, and create this magnetic environment. And, you know, not worrying about what people are going to think, just jumping into the deep end and doing those crazy, interactive, fun things. And, you know, we're probably going to do this in the spring and create this funky little environment, right? And this is how you create depth. This is how you create beauty, is by doing those things that are a little bit out there, that maybe the average person, or, you know, people might kind of be like, really, you're going to do that? If it feels fun, if it feels something that, or if it creates an energy inside you where you're like, yeah, that would be really sweet. Those are the things that you want to do, because that's what brings your energy up. When you get excited about something, when it feels sort of neat and fun and dynamic and different, and it kind of gets your heart rate going, you're like, that's what you need to follow, okay? Now, relationships, music, art, conversation that elevate your experience. So this is the depth part. When we are playing in the shallow end, in the safe end, and we're not pushing ourselves into environments and into circumstances where we are growing and where we are going deep and we're really cracking open all of the caverns within our beautiful minds, we are leaving ourselves in sort of this mundane, dull arena of living. So yes, there's aspects that are scary when you move into intellectual circles, when you go into places where you might feel that you're a little outside of your comfort zone. Those are the things that you should do, because it helps you to grow. It deepens your intellectual bandwidth, it deepens your creative bandwidth, and it helps to create a more enriched experience in your life, okay? Now, my number 5 is remember that you are an energy being. Everything is energy. I've talked about it a lot in my videos. So think of everything you're doing in terms of an energy perspective. So in practical terms, this is amazing. You're not just a body, you are a frequency. So take care of that vibration. Look at what you're eating. Eat high vibrational foods. What are high vibrational foods for me? That is vegetables, fruit, nuts, seeds, anything that is alive. Obviously, when the sun shines and the plants grow, that is immediate energy from the sun. Now, there's transference. As we move down the food chain, When an animal eats food, there's a transference of that energy again. Myself, I get the highest output of energy on a vegetarian diet. Everybody's different. I'm not here to judge. I'm just telling you what works great for me. It also keeps me looking and feeling really young. I can see a difference in my skin, in the brightness of my eyes, in the consistency of my hair, my nails, my skin. Everything is better when I eat purely vegetarian or vegan. And also my energy goes through the roof. My mental clarity is insane in terms of how much I can absorb and memorize. So for me, there's a direct correlation. You're gonna find what works for you, okay? But I'm just letting you know, for me, high vibrational foods are those vegan raw foods, okay? Now, also, in terms of energy, your emotions, your thoughts, your connections, if you think of all of these things through the lens of energy, it's really easy to heal all distortion and disturbances within your energy body. Because, you know, I actually met with a family member last night. We were talking about kind of congealing some of the broken relationships within our family. And if you think of it from an energy perspective, and you think of raising that energy and healing things and reconnecting things, instead of isolated things somebody might have said or done, it's a whole different perspective. And it's a really great way to impart this energy of forgiveness and acceptance and non-judgment when you redirect it through the lens of understanding energy and the fact that we're trying to reintegrate energies, heal energies, and raise our energy vibration. Okay, play more. Play isn't just for kids. I mean, it's awesome when you're a child to be able to have this free-flowing, playful energy, but part of healing is remembering how to play with life, how to have fun, how to laugh, how to just be silly and create magic, okay? And that energy, when you have somebody that walks into a room or walks into an environment and they're just glowing and they're smiling and they're just full of this radiant, beautiful, playful, childlike energy, you are magnetized towards them. You want to be around that person because it's calling forth the most pure and highest frequency that you can experience in human form. Okay, so find moments where you can play, where you can dance, where you can sing and be silly, and integrate this energy of playfulness and childlike, that childlike aspect of yourself. Okay, choose love over fear again and again and again. You have to practice this. Fear is going to bubble up, the ego is going to push back. That's something that all of us have to deal with, okay? But allowing ourselves and nudging ourselves to choose love over fear again and again. Fear shrinks your energy in terms of your life. Love expands everything. Abundance, creativity, relationships, depth, everything expands in the aura under the light of love, okay? And choosing that expansive path makes the journey of life more beautiful. So whether it's a new adventure, forgiving someone, opening your heart, or saying yes to a dream, all of those things are part of the expansion of your energy and the expansion of yourself as a being, okay? Connecting with nature and the animal world and the plant world. Okay, we are a dynamic biosphere here on planet Earth. We are all connected, interconnected. We all need each other in so many different ways. And remembering this, coming back to it, and taking the time to connect with nature and animals is so incredibly healing. And one of the most grounding ways to immerse yourself in the experience. Myself, I try to hike every day. I get out into the parks, I walk by the river. I have a ranch. I love getting out and just being in the mountains, in my properties, you know, in the tropics, being in the beach, being in that beautiful energy. But it doesn't matter where you are. There's always these spaces where you can retreat into this natural environment and immerse yourself in that beautiful healing energy that nature offers, okay? Now, number 9 on my list is follow what electrifies you. And we all can really identify with this. There are going to be things in your environment that make you just kind of shy away, or you don't have the motivation to do those things. I still say, do your chores, do the things that you have to do, which will allow you lots of time to do the things that light your soul on fire. Those things that light you up are the pathway. That's the journey that you have to take. That is that treasure map to the best version of you and the best version of your life. If you feel this intrinsic excitement inside because of something that you are imagining and envisioning that visualization, that means that it's a path that you're supposed to follow. When you feel that energy of excitement, that is a hallmark sign that that's something that you're supposed to do. And a lot of times people will shrink back into what is comfortable, what they are used to doing, because of fear, and also because of judgment, okay? Judgment and fear are very closely linked, and it prevents you from doing those things that might seem a little bit scary, might seem a little bit avant-garde, and maybe not what everybody is doing, or what your mother and father and aunts and uncles and your peers are doing. But remember, you have a unique path, and your path is going to be different than your family members, and it's going to be uniquely designed for you. And the way that you know that you're on the right path is that it's going to electrify you. It's going to give you energy. It's going to light you up, okay? So the last thing on my list to remember, that this experience is temporary. Having this earth life is a nanosecond in the spectrum of the eternal existence. This temporary nature of what you are experiencing makes it such a gift. Don't squander that gift. Don't waste it. It is over before you know it, okay? It's a blink in the cosmic timeline. And so, in and of that, really revel in every stage and phase of your life. Absorb it, integrate it, learn from it, play with it, okay? It is a magical gift to be here on earth. Now, I'm going to wrap this up. That's kind of my list of ways that you can raise your frequency, that you can integrate some of these powerful tools in terms of creating that life that you've always dreamed of. Wishing you a super amazing rest of your week, and hopefully I'll have something interesting to say in the next video. Okay, cheers.